Lily, you can take it over.
All right, sounds good. We'll start with Michael Bruns.
I guess to start with, Fred, what's the mood like in the locker room there?
A lot better than it has been. As I said to the guys, I couldn't be happier for them for continuing to go out and battle and, fight through everything that's been thrown at them with being shut down and, continuing to come in and work and never complain. Not once have you heard any of our guys complain about anything. They haven't made excuses about what's happened to them. And, the easy thing to do especially after that start would have been to hang our heads after, the tough loss against Illinois and, we had 3 straight turnovers and dug ourselves a little hole. And then we got it going. It's that 15-minute mark in the first half all the way to about the 8-minute mark in the second half. That's about as good as we've been. I think we had 19 assists with 8 or 9 minutes to go. And then obviously we hit a huge lull, and, their pressure really bothered us. Wasn't exactly a clinic on how to handle pressure there late. And, we had a couple isolations with their switching where we got a big switched off, and, we drove into one of our own players. Our spacing wasn't great. We got Derek after missing him on a high-low. We missed a flash when they switched Wheeler off onto him, but, we got him a good look on a back down play, and he missed it, but he didn't let it bother him. And I thought made the 2 biggest plays of the game by diving on the floor when Teddy made the game winner, and then his verticality on that last play when Brockington drove to the basket was outstanding. So, it's much better to learn from a win. I'll say that. And we have plenty that we can learn from this one. I think we're only the 3rd team that has won in this building this year. So, to come out after what we went through the other night in a short prep, and continue to fight and battle. Obviously we didn't do it offensively those last 8 minutes, but I thought our defense was about as good as it's been. So we had stretches, offensively for about 32 minutes, phenomenal. And then that defense there late, won the game for us.
All right, next we'll go to Robin Washington.
Fred, you guys were playing so well, like you said, took that double-digit lead, and then things just kind of went cold on you. What were you trying to say to the guys as that lead progressively shrank and the pressure started to mount to keep this from becoming a, here we go again type moment? Well,
I told them we were going to win the game, and that was one thing. I just wanted to instill the confidence in them. Never once did they waver in the huddles. Never once were they pointing fingers or, going back and forth. They said, let's continue to get it done defensively. And that's the most encouraging thing is we didn't let our poor offensive execution in those last 8 minutes affect the way that we guarded them on the other end. And that was the game. I thought we had some really good straight up vertical plays there at the end. And, Teddy obviously hits the huge one in transition, but, Derek was the one that helped get that loose ball for us. This is a good team we played that plays extremely hard and extremely well in this building. And we hadn't seen, defense like that and haven't been in this situation much, obviously. We couldn't quite get it done the other night. But I couldn't be happier for these guys for finding a way to get over the hump and the feeling, and the other thing I reminded them of is, as we talked about after the Illinois game, the 2 hardest things to put behind you are big emotional losses like we had the other night. We found a way to do it, and then big wins like we had tonight. So we got to find a way. We're going to enjoy it. Believe me, we're going to enjoy it today. We're flying to Maryland this afternoon, and then, we'll get them together. We got to make sure they take care of their bodies with a back-to-back, finishing this incredible stretch that we're on right now. And then we got to bounce back with a good day of prep tomorrow and put this one behind us and get ready for this back-to-back on Tuesday and Wednesday.
A follow-up on that, while the offense struggled down the stretch, your defense was, probably as good as it's been all year. What has been, since the return to the break, been the biggest difference in your eyes with the execution defensively and how that's kept you in so many games, since that layoff?
Yeah, we've been so much better on that end. It starts with pressure. That is one thing we really worked on when we came out was one, ball pressure, getting into the ball, making them feel us. Teams were too comfortable, against us, and the execution in this league is too good. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is front and the post. Derek's been a huge help since we got him back, and it's nice to have Eduardo, who's given us really good minutes, and Ivan, helping us out and filling those minutes in. But, we're really doing a good job front and the post. Our opposite low man has been good, kind of helping and supporting when the ball goes in. We're playing a little more one-on-one to keep us out of rotation. But most of it's effort, Robin. We've just really gotten after it. And I think the first three were under 30%. Tonight, they shot 32%. So, if we can continue to give that kind of effort, even when we struggle like we did, we're going to have a chance in the end.
All right, next we'll go to Chris Bassnett.
Fred, you've talked about him already, but is that stretch at the end, is that why you bring a guy like Derek into this program, just because he's maybe been in some spots like that and can kind of provide some of those things for you down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, he played for an unbelievable coach in Rick Barnes, and, he's a guy that's been coached and can handle it. And, he can score. We're going to have to, again, when we're struggling like we were, and as I said, we ran a play for him after one of the timeouts. He can score that. And you saw what he did against in Indiana that first game back, where he got 5 rolls to the rim, and then that sucked in the defense and got a guy like Lat. I think he made 5 threes that game. So Derek, he contributes in a lot of ways. He's still getting comfortable out there after taking almost 2 years off. He had the virus. I think he's struggling a little bit with that as well at times. But he made such huge plays for us late in the game, and I'm happy for him. To have to sit out as long as he did to make the game-winning plays, the game-changing plays there at the end was huge. And I'll say this: our guys, when they took that lead, hitting the 4-point play, our guys didn't hang their heads. They kept competing, even when we missed a couple more after that. And then Derek makes those plays, and Teddy, finally takes the lid off for us on that last possession.
All right, we'll go to Sam McEwen.
Hey, Fred, congrats on the win.
Thank you, Sam. Nice hat.
How much? Thanks. It's good. I mean, it's got to be a load off, right? Like emotionally, when it was over, and the clock runs out, what was that immediate emotion you felt, and what could you feel from your players in the locker room as they kind of, it sunk in that they'd won a Big Ten game?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Sam. If we wouldn't have found a way to get this one, that would have been 2 of the more devastating ones that I've certainly been a part of. And you can continue to talk the message with our guys about how close they are. I told them, you guys have been knocking on the door. Let's go kick that word I can't use the thing down. And they went out and continue to fight. So that's the thing that I'm so proud of this group, is how they've continued to go out there and battle. For me, yeah, I mean, probably a big sense of relief, to get this one. And, as I said, it's going to take getting one of these to get confident, to understand you can do it, to know you can do it, and find a way to use it, as a stepping stone for our program. And, hopefully go out and play well at Maryland, build on the things that we did well. I thought we handled their zone well. We hadn't seen zone in probably 2 months. And, I thought we hit some good shots. Now the press bothered us and the switching bothered us there at the end. We have counters to all that, but we didn't do a good job, those last 8 minutes. But for 30, 31, 32 minutes, that was about as good as we've been offensively. And, hopefully we can bottle that up and understand that's what it's supposed to look like in this system and keep going out and making strides.
I know this is an odd thing to say, but it does not appear that your team cares about the name on the jersey as it relates to effort or it getting in their heads. It feels like they can actually duplicate the effort and the try hardness every night, regardless of the opponent.
There's no doubt about it, Sam. And, I've said that from the beginning. We have played hard. We got it handed to us against Ohio State. There's no denying that. We were not good. We had poor effort that game. And, as we talked about in the film room the next day, it bothered everybody. You could see it in their face. They went out, they responded with good practices. And since then, our effort has been there. Now, we haven't, again, I talked about this the other night, we haven't played the smartest basketball at times, but we're getting there. Illinois, we were much better at taking care of the ball. After starting the game tonight with 3 turnovers for a big stretch of that game, we did a great job taking care of the ball. And then obviously the end, we had too many of them. I'll say this, though. You look at, Trey McGowan's had the turnover, but that chase down block he made was maybe as big a play as we had. So, it is. I couldn't agree with you more, Sam. Our guys have gone out and battled and fought and competed in everything we've asked them to do. So I'm really happy for them. I mean, reality is, yeah, we're 1-9 in league, but our guys have never stopped caring. And, I hope our fans have recognized that and seen the effort that our players have come to play with on a nightly basis.
All right, last question from Jacob Padilla.
I would say 19 assists on 27 buckets is what you want to see from the team as a whole. But what did you think of the way Teddy played today in terms of his decision-making between kind of balancing his self-creation with making plays for others and making the simple plays with kickouts on drives and that type of thing?
Yeah, that's one thing we really stress because they collapse on the ball. They do a great job, maybe as good as any, of taking charges. And Teddy, I thought, really played under control. He took the one bad one, I thought, when he got a switch. He had a 7-footer guarding him, and he settled for a long shot. I think it was an air ball. But, besides that shot and play, he was outstanding in all aspects of the game. And, that's something he can do. He did it early in the Illinois game where he kicked one out to Lat in the trail and didn't try to drive through the pile. But, Teddy just made a huge play there at the end, and that's something he can do, making that type of play happen when there's a lid on the basket because he's that talented of a scorer and offensive player. But yeah, to see Teddy play make, that's a huge step in the right direction. I mean, we were on pace to, 24, 25 assists had we kept playing the way we were. But, that press bothered us the last 8-9 minutes. But again, our defense, I was really pleased with what we did to find a way to win it with some huge hustle plays.
All right, great. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Couple minutes with Derek Walker and Kobe Webster.